How you doing? Welcome to another edition of Email with the Dean. Please like, share, subscribe, all this, and we continue to go on. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you guys today about is an email I got from a guy who's kind of broken, kind of beat down and everything. So he wrote a long, long email. So I'm just going to kind of break it down to you guys. Basically, what happened was he met a woman. Started texting her, transitioned to the telephone, and then he took her out on a very expensive dinner date. But unfortunately, after the dinner date was over with, she stopped texting him and really didn't call him as much. And he's wondering what he did wrong. And he was really kicking himself in the butt because he spent a lot of money on dinners. And this is one of the reasons why there are two reasons why I always tell you guys don't spend too much money on dinners, because it's not really making a huge impression on a woman. The impression is going to come in when you text her and when you're on the phone with her, but I'll get that back to that in 1 second. Anyway, getting back to the dinner portion, the reason I always tell you guys don't make it all about the dinner, because it's not about you feeding her. It's about you seeing if you're compatible with her. And even with that, I always say take her for coffee or tea, because you want to make sure that if you invest any money in someone, it's the right person. But for this gentleman right here, the problem that he had was that he got on, and when I talked to him a little bit, I talked to him outside of that. And unfortunately for him, what happened was he began to text. He began to, his text, number one, his text messages, number one. And number two, the telephone conversation he had did not impress her. So when he moved on to step number three, which was the dinner date, it was real awkward because he was forced to go back to what he did the first time. One thing I always tell you guys is very important it's two important major moments with women. That is your texting, how you text a woman, and also how you are when you're making out. But we're not talking about the making out. We're talking about the first phase. For a lot of you guys, you like to hide behind your words. You like to walk on eggshells and not really let a woman know what your true intentions are. That's some of the problems that you get. And that's why you fall back into what we call the friend zone. Remember, every time you're in reaction, give yourself a -5. Every time that you think about your past, you stay in your comfort zone, you don't express how you truly feel, or you're walking on eggshells, give yourself a -5 for every reaction that you have. If you give yourself a -5 for everything that you do reactive, then you'll see why she'll put you in the friend zone. Now, for every action you do, you should get a +1. Now, why? Because I shouldn't pat you on the back for something you should be doing anyway. But anyway, getting back to this guy right here, what he did was as soon as he began to text message her, he went into the boring Bob interview like who, what, where, why, when. What do you do for a living? When was your last boyfriend? And you know, one thing I ask him, and I always ask you guys when you begin to text women or even talk on the phone with women, I ask you this serious question. Is what you're asking, do you really care? Do you really give a fuck about what you're asking? And 9 times out of 10, they say, well, no, I don't. So I'm like, well, okay, if you don't give a fuck about what you're asking, then why ask it? And 9 times out of 10, they always say, well, this is what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to ask her about her job. You're supposed to ask her what she did for a living. You're supposed to ask her about her last boyfriend and what she wants in a relationship and things like that. And I always tell you guys, this is the problem what a lot of you guys are having. Remember, guys, it's all about you. And I'm always going back to Thor's hammer. The only one that can pick up Thor's hammer is somebody that's worthy. So remember, guys, you are kings. You are powerful men. You have to make her show you her value and worth. You don't have to sit back there and interview her and ask her a million questions of what she likes and what she wants. Why? Because she hears that from every other guy, the regular cookie cutter, always asking her the same stuff over and over again. And I don't want that to happen for any of you guys. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your text game up. Not only get your text game up, remember, once you are able to intrigue her enough to get on the telephone, then this is another area where you have to impress her. And I don't mean impressing her by juggling midgets and kissing her ass. I'm just showing you to show her why she needs to invest her time into you. See, the get together, the date, or whatever you want to call it, it shouldn't really matter, because if you're doing it correctly, you can get a 99-cent burger at McDonald's. She doesn't care. She just wants to spend time with you. For a lot of you guys, I know y'all don't understand this, but look, guys, you can go to Walmart, get a loaf of bread and feed the fucking ducks and give her a good time instead of spending 200 or $100 to try to impress her on a meal where y'all are just sitting there looking at each other. I want these interactions you have with women to be fun. I want them to be interesting. But what's very important to me that I want from you guys to realize your power, your value, and your worth. Remember, once you can get her curiosity and turn that into attention, after a while, attention will soon turn into attraction if you're doing everything correctly. And that's what I want from you guys. So just remember these last few things that I want to tell you always. Always remember this, because I'm not going to be there with you every step of the way. But remember this, every time you're in reaction, that means you're walking on eggshells. You're asking her boring questions. You're not telling her how you really feel. You're thinking about your past or using that as an excuse why you can't move forward, or you're stuck in your comfort zone. Any of those things that you're doing puts you in reaction. And as long as you're in reaction, give yourself a -5. That will give you a barometer of where you are in the relationship. But if you're more of a alpha, a man that has that type of man mindset, and you go after what you want, you let her know what the deal is, and you let her know why she needs to invest that ass into you, not you investing in her. So long and so many years and so many decades, we have been taught lies. We've been fed or been all about handed down stories about how you should treat a woman and how you should kiss her ass and how you should go get an axe and your ox blue and go to the redwood forest and knock down a tree, build a pedestal and roll fruit at these motherfuckers' feet. That doesn't work that way now. Guys, I'm telling you, if you want to know how to get these women, I'm telling you, do not go after what she wants. If you can fulfill her needs, there is nothing she can do about it. It will get you instant attraction. And that's what we want from you guys. So guys, hey, that's going to be the end of our show. But guys, not the end of the discussion. If you want to holler at your boy, go to themanmindset.com. If you have any questions or you have any comments that you want to put in this section, go ahead and put it in. And if I get the opportunity, I will reply to that stuff. But remember, guys, at the end of the day, listen, it's very important what you say. Remember, it has to line up. How you think, what you say, and how you behave must line up in sync. Because if it doesn't line up and it's not going in one way, she's going to realize that you're bullshitting or there's something not special about you and you're going to fall in the friend zone. And a lot of you guys, you fall in early because you hide behind your words. Stop hiding behind your words. Let your man be your forefront. Bring that warrior out in you and show these women why they need to invest themselves into you. So then if you can transfer from the telephone and wow her over the telephone, then guess what? It doesn't matter where the date is. You don't need to impress her. You don't need to take her to any expensive restaurants. You can just hang out with her. And matter of fact, what happens is when you can intrigue a woman well enough, guess what? They will bypass the bullshit that they do with the regular guy and give you a shortcut to that ass. So if you have any questions or anything, hit me up at themanmindset.com. Send me an email, and I promise if it's really cool and really good, I'm going to go ahead and do an email, break that thing down to you, and we're going to go from that point. But remember, guys, we're going to keep that scale going. So remember, guys, I'm not there with you. So every time you do something that's reactive, beta, or Charlie, give yourself a -5. If you do something in action, like, you go for what you want, you say what's on your mind, give yourself a 1. And then you'll get a better idea where you're at with these women. These women are so used to cookie cutters that they're sick and tired of the bullshit. So what I'm saying is, look, guys, get your text game up. Get your phone game up. And if you need to do that, go to the Man Mindset. We got tons of products there to get your game up. Listen to the testimonials. Listen to the lives that we have changed. But anyway, guys, like, subscribe, share, put that out there. Holla at your boys. And don't forget to check me out every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have the Man Mindset Radio Show for men to get you out of that bullshit that you in right now. So I'm the motherfucking Dean. and I'll holler at you motherfuckers later. Stop that bullshit, man. Peace.